Namaste everybody, welcome to Chitya Media, the Festival of Bharat. My name is Sharan Sethi, your host. Today we have a very special guest with us. He's been writing about the RSS, about politics and a lot of other issues for national magazines and newspapers, and he's a very well-noted author too, an author of 3 books, and he's done his PhD on the RSS too. He's been on the journey to retell the story of the Sangh Parivar. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ratan Sharda. Ratanji, namaskar. Welcome to the festival.
Namaskar, Sharan. Thanks for the
Ratanji,
invite.
I know that you've been traveling a lot, so I hope you and your family are in good health.
Oh, yes. We passed the first wave in November, so that is the time at the tail end, all of us fell sick to COVID. So now we are safer.
Right. I'm really glad to hear that. I've been really looking forward to this conversation because I've read your articles regularly, and I really like what you have to say about the Sangh, and you present an actual picture rather than the myth that is built up in certain sections of the media about the demonization of the Sangh. Now, what actually brings you to write about the RSS so much?
Well, I have been telling about this earlier also. As a young RSS Swayamsevak, I used to get disappointed when even good programs and wonderful programs are never covered by the mainstream media. At that time, there was only one media, print media, and we had DD. Then electronic media came, but nothing changed. So RSS was not covered. If it was covered, it was always covered in a negative manner. Best possible programs were not covered. Then they kept on blaming that RSS is a secretive organization without ever bothering to talk to RSS, or what RSS even circulated as media notes were never actually published. All RSS resolutions were always handed over to the media, but none of them ever published it. And when I was doing my PhD on RSS resolutions, I realized how important they were to the national life, how it changed the way things happened in Bharat. But media never bothered. So this tag of secretiveness, which was underlined when Mohan Bhagwat became the RSS chief, when Times of India gave a news about his ascension and said RSS is a secretive organization, that made me pick up my pen. I had been editing books before that. I was writing some articles before that, but I was not a book. I'm not an author of a book. But that really set me, really thinking that why should RSS be called a secretive organization, though its programs take place in open grounds, meetings are open, all the camps are open, people are invited, the media never bothers to visit. And then when they bother to visit, they don't publish the larger picture. I remember in UP, there was a big state level camp in which 93,000 people came. But the only image that came in a newspaper was semi-naked Swayamsevaks taking wash under the taps and saying this is a big camp. So this kind of strange behavior, and when any disaster happened and RSS are working, the camera would simply swerve away when they saw the half pants. So that is the reason that made me write this book of RSS, the first book, that is Secrets of RSS. And that is how my journey began. There was so much to tell. There was so much to share with people. And I chose English. I'm a Hindi-speaking person, educated in Hindi medium in the school. So that because English-speaking people are much more easily uprooted from the traditions and culture, I thought they needed to read. Then young people generally read only in English. So that made me write in English. So most of the books I write are in English, and article also. So that is how my quest to write books began. I wrote a book about my uncle who took me to Shaka, who started RSS work outside India, which is called Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, way back in 48. So this is how I kept on writing. Today I have already 6 books in the name of RSS. 7th is being published about the RSS resolutions, which is based on my thesis. So that is how I just want to tell the story, let people know, because RSS marketing or RSS media relations were never very great. Now they're improving a lot. And before advent of social media, there was hardly any presence. Whatever books were published were generally from the negative perspective. So that is how my journey began.
Absolutely. I mean, thanks to people like you that there is a different story. The actual picture of the RSS is coming to the mainstream. Even us who've studied in schools and colleges and in journalism schools, we've seen the Sangh being demonized for time and again. And now that we actually read articles...
I'll tell you an interesting story since you talk of journalism being journalist schools demonizing RSS.
Right.
There was a camp in year 2000, World Camp of HSS people. And I was in charge of the complete arrangement. So we invited journalists to visit our campsite in Keshav Srishti Bhandar. And they came, they saw around. There was a small, exchange of ideas. And one young journalist from, I think, some English newspaper said, "Oh, this RSS is so different." And as if we are the humans she never believed to be. I said, "What did you expect us wearing some helmets with horns on the head, etc.?" She said, "Yes, that's what I believe." So this is the level of, and I'm talking year 2000 when RSS people believed that they are very well known, they are appreciated for their work. That is how the image was. So a journalist tells me this, who is sitting in Mumbai, which is one of the earliest RSS, where RSS began work long back. So this is the amusing part or strange part.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I do have similar stories from my colleagues from different publications who keep on telling me. And if we just brush it off as a fiction that they're trying to write. Now,
Chinese, I have met US consulates, I have met the British consulate, Canadians, and Chinese. So Chinese are doing some research on RSS, and they met me. And they said, whenever we try to search for any book, all we get are negative books. So this is the only book we were told which is written by an RSS person. So that is why we came to meet you. So this is how even people who want to know very seriously about RSS, they can't get enough literature.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.